Statute law now, moving on from the Constitution and how that protects human rights. Statute law also protects human rights by literally defining the human rights and saying that they cannot be breached, okay? Things like the Anti-Discrimination Act 1977 and the Australian Human Rights Commission Act 1986. Common law now. Common law is really important because it applies statute law to the unique circumstances of cases, okay? So let's say the Commonwealth Criminal Code, all it said was that slavery is someone in shackles who cannot eat or drink and is living in a dungeon, okay? Really random, but let's say that was the definition. In R v. Y12, the judge would have had to apply that and said, all right, is that the definition of slavery in this case? Is this still slavery? And applied the statute law to the unique circumstances of R v. Y12. Obviously, it was not what in that made up law that I just made, it was not that. So the judge would have had to kind of create new precedent about slavery. Now, that obviously isn't what the Commonwealth Criminal Code says, but I'm just saying, I'm trying to demonstrate that common law applies the principles of statutory law to the unique circumstances of case law, okay? And that's its biggest benefit, because statute law is usually very vague and ambiguous. Common law obviously has really specific nuances and intricacies and specifics for each case, where someone needs to kind of think, is this a breach of human rights? So it fills in the gaps that statutes don't cover. Things like the presumption of innocence, the right to a fair trial, and native title. It evolves independent from government and parliament, as I mentioned with the separation of powers. And it frequently draws from authoritative international documents, okay? For example, Justice Brennan remarked that international law was a legitimate and important influence on the common law, especially when international law declared the existence of universal human rights, okay? So international law directly influences the decisions made in common law. Common law is also not fixed and can be rendered redundant by a later statute, okay? So statute legislation can override precedent as well.